Stop now.
2 seconds while Brian undoes the camera, folks, so just excuse office that to do his job. You can hear the lions vocalizing, contact calling very softly. Oh, sorry. We may hear this adult here return that contact call if we're lucky. Come on. Call for us. So they're just wanting to regroup after getting slightly scattered when the elephants chased them. Like I said, this lioness here could well do a contact call in response to the lioness. We've got another elephant in sight now, witness heading towards us. And it could keep these lions on the move. There's a gap that they're about to walk into, so we should get a visual of them coming through now. The questions just come through from what sounds like Kathleen. And I guess he by the dominant males, his father. So it's not his pride, he is simply a youngster growing up in it, and he will have probably a few more months here before it's time for him to move on, and that's a necessity, as if not, he would try and mate with his mothers and his sister. Okay, so it looks like she is now going to try and join up with the rest of the pride, and that now is going to make our job a little bit tricky because of the area that they're headed down into. But there is another little sneaky track, the road that Zim and myself have named Ingwe Track because of the amounts of leopard we've seen there. And that will take us in the direction that they're heading. It's just finding exactly where they pop out that is going to be tricky. But we will go down and try our best. So it shouldn't be long before we get there, just a few minutes. And I just begins now. And they're still on the move. And we are still in luck. So it could well have been that Franklin that did alarm call at them. And again, you could probably hear the thunder There have always been buffalo lying in this wallow that the lion in front is approaching. Every time I come here, there have been buffalo there, except for today. And I think that's why these lions are approaching cautiously. They could potentially smell those buffalo, even though they weren't there recently. They can probably tell that they were here in the last day or so, not today. No, I just need to get us through our little gap, which, if I remember correctly, is just here. This is the little shortcut that myself and VM found the other day. We just had to move a big log out the way, and then we can access another track that leads us to a road, a major road, which this you can see is not. And it was right here where Nkuhuma Pride of Lions. This should work out very well for us where we pop out here. Sorry? Oh, nice. Well spotted, Brian. We've been trying to show you good shots of this bird, the Burchell's cuckoo, on many occasions, but they tend to hide away. Thankfully, because it's a bit wet from the rain, it's less inclined to fly off and is more focused on drying itself now. So well done on spotting that, Brian. And in the meantime, it's perfect because the lions are slowly making their way through some thick vegetation towards us, and they are going to pop out at any stage. But probably not very, but they are heading there, and there's a lot of general game up in that area. Quite fitting that the Burchell's cuckoo is also known as the rain bird. It would be wonderful if it let off its call now. Which is almost kind of like a gurgling, watery burble. This is my description. What I can do is actually I can read the description in the book, because they're often quite funny. Different description, I think, it's fair to say. And here the lion, they've just popped out in front of us, so I'm just going to continue moving along and make sure we do stay in front of them, because I think we will have a similar opportunity to reverse in front of them down this next road they get onto. He's really holding her head up into the breeze, and it's still blowing into them, and you can see she's trying to pick up any clues she can of potential prey, any potential risks, other lions, but very tuned and focused. And you can see she literally just licked her lips, and you can notice her belly is empty. It's very depressed at the hind quarters there, and these lions are going to be very, very intent on catching some prey. So great prospects for us. Arquette in Arkansas, good afternoon, welcome on board. Arquette's just asked, what age would a male lion typically be kicked out of a pride? And anywhere from 2 years to 3 years of age would be an average age that they would get kicked out, depending on the dynamics of the exact pride and the male's dominance in that area. Oh, Oh. Just going to edge ahead to see if we don't get any idea as to what it could be. That they can smell, because if they do end up stalking something and hunting something, it would be useful for us to be able to position ourselves accordingly in order to try and see as much as possible. So I'm just going to continue ahead here. Got lost, but have we? Yeah. Obviously that's not a problem. Hey, you stay away from us, you little rubbish. The sub-adult just kind of ran after us as we took off there. So I just had to make sure it didn't continue to do that, because that's bad practice. Naughty lion. Hey, you stop that. Not sure what it can see, but there's something that's nada. Okay. Well, we good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay. I found it almost miraculous to believe that there aren't other vehicles with us, but not complaining, because it does allow us to always try and just position ourselves in pole positions and not have to share. Okay, now just going to keep an eye on them here because of the direction that they're heading in. I'm not sure what our best plan is going to be. It could well be to loop around ahead of them. As it's very thick, the area they're going through. And I know they are going to pop out onto a main road shortly. So let's give it a moment here. I wonder what it is they can smell. There's more of them now that are really lifting their heads up into this wind. Questions just come through from Geert in the Netherlands. Apologies if I pronounced it wrong, but I gave it my best crack. Good afternoon and welcome on board. Geert's asked whether, when he does that, is fly below the, and he could end up very, very far away, because wherever he goes, there are in all likelihood going to be dominant male lions. As the territories of one dominant male or coalition will press up against another. So he will be on the move, flying below the radar of, because sadly he's got no brothers to get kicked out with, so he's going to be on his lonesome. Small chance he could befriend another young male that he lines along the way. But if he doesn't, sure, the odds are stacked heavily against him, because if a dominant coalition of males do come across him, they will fight with him and potentially kill him. The majority of us is convinced they can smell something, and it's not that they're testing there, it's that they're really honing in on the smell that they are picking up. And rather than rushing ahead, it's more important for them to approach very slowly and not blow any opportunities. So this may be the behavior we're witnessing here, just a bit of patience and calm, rather than running in blindly to whatever it is that they're smelling. Updates on Nkuhumas. They are on the toot that runs down. Another break? How long will this one be for, I wonder? As you saw, the first time they got mobile, they were all completely flat, and one lioness, without any warning, stood up, started moving, and the rest of the pride followed suit as he rekindles or rejoins this pride. I'm guessing if he does come up to this lioness that we can see here, she may give him a snarl, as she has done this in the past, so watch that closely. I hope you heard that little grunt she gave him. Just got a question through from James in Kansas City. Afternoon, James. And welcome. James has asked whether or what is causing the swollen elbow that some of you may have noticed on the two younger lions. Is normal for lion in this area. Most of the lion in the Kruger, I could almost assume all of them, are infected with bovine tuberculosis, and obviously the professionals feel that it doesn't need to be treated, or there's possibly not even a treatment for it, and those the elbows are signs that they are carrying TB, and because they are the two smallest lions in this pride, they will be the least well nourished, and just like humans, this comes to prominence. Good question and good observation. Copy, thank you, sir. And a few days ago, possibly even today, was that when following predators in darkness, it is very difficult to not affect what's going on around us, because by shining a spotlight on the lion or the leopard, obviously anything within viewing distance can clearly see the lions approaching. Therefore, you are disadvantaging the lion when hunting. On the other end of the spectrum, if you shine the spotlight into the impala's eyes or the buffalo's eyes or whatever herbivore or prey item the lion, if something does, and then we cannot see anything. So that makes for difficult viewing and not the most entertaining viewing watching a black screen. So we will just see how it goes. But ideally, to watch animals hunt, you need to do it during the day, unless, of course, you've got infrared or some form of night vision, which is, who knows, I would love to do it. Take a bit of getting used to becoming nocturnal. Okay, one lioness has just got up. Maybe she's urging her mother to get the rest of the pride going and look for some dinner, because that does look like a sub-adult. And it could literally be what she's done. She's going, come on, Mum, let's go. But if that's what she asked, the mother is not interested. Now, even though these lions aren't doing anything right now, as you saw at the last place where we were stopped, that Inyala stumbled into the lion, and the same thing could happen again with any other animal. So even though they're not on the move, anything could happen while we are just waiting. And I guess another good example from this afternoon is the herd of elephants that arrived at the lion sighting earlier. So we've been, again, I'll say it, this afternoon. Are you happy here, Brian, or do you want me to try and reposition, or?
Yeah, let's try reposition. I can't see those line at all.
Okay. Where will be our best bet? Let's see front here. What I'm maybe talking about is not really relevant to what you're seeing, but my monitor's not working, so I've got no idea of magical. Oh, look at that. Well, can you believe it that that one just came perfectly into shot and are really showing us an incredible display of affection and playfulness. Too good. Can you believe it? I wish I could see the picture. It could well be a lioness playing with one of her daughters. We haven't had them as a yet. It's just incredible. But I think they all are going to pop into this tiny little window that we have here. No, just reposition slightly. There comes another one. That one's getting jealous of the other one getting a lot of affection, and this lioness is now spreading the love between the two. I hope you can hear those very gentle murmurs of satisfaction as they grunt and groan with pleasure. They are murmuring and groaning with joy. Oh, bless you. At this time of the year with so many grass seeds around, and they are kind of at nose level, a lot of them. So as the lions lost their little... Oh, yeah. Plump. One lioness has just got up. guessing the rest is potentially going to follow her. Listen to the audio. Just going to try and worship. Can't move. I've never heard these lions vocalize, and I'm not sure how loud they will vocalize if they do all get involved. But they could. And lioness will vocalize in order to communicate with dominant males, but also to communicate with rival prides, also consisting of lioness. Other prides of lioness for territories. Dominant males will compete with other dominant males for territories, and often you'll find a dominant coalition of lion, be it 2 or 4 or members. A large competition in lion. So, good news, they are on the move again. I'm not sure if they're going to lie down next to the other lioness behind or continue moving. What's the story there, Brian? Can you see?
They're lined up.
So they're getting restless, but great shot there. But they are getting restless. They've kind of been restless all afternoon, thankfully.
Yeah, they might follow.
Okay, it looks like they're on the move there. So we are going to get on the move as well.